Crypto Harvey Weinstein here, reporting before the beginning of World War III. However, we need to talk about something much more pressing, much more important, and that is the magic internet money, Bitcoins. And in today's video, I'll be going over several statistical setups that I believe are of significant interest and also invalidation conditions surrounding that as well. Answering the question, how bad is this going to get? Or is it even going to get bad at all? So let's start off with my new favorite indicator, which is the price action pivots indicator. And if you've been following this channel now for even a few weeks, you've seen several of these patterns that have been formed from these trend lines play out, which is kind of a surprise to me, I guess maybe not to other people, but it seems like we are now in the process of validating patterns. And while this one is maybe not the most nice of patterns, it is indeed a rising channel right here with your upper boundary governing these highs since the, what was this, March, the March 22 high right here. And then this boundary governing the lows from effectively the April lows where this whole mega rally really began. And as you can see, Bitcoin is dancing right on top of the bottom boundary, which if it does close below on any time frame that that really matters here, such as a daily, 2-day, 3-day, and 5-day. Actually, let me just double check that the daily does mark off that one as well. No, it does not. Okay, I reassessed that. It's actually the 2-day, the 3-day, the 5-day. Yeah, so all of these time frames coming in at about the same level, with the 2-day time frame and the 3-day time frames actually closing tonight. And if Bitcoin actually does close below that, there is a measured move, an implied move from the resolution of this. So let's just see what effectively that would be. And again, I'm going to assume that Bitcoin actually does close below. If Bitcoin doesn't close below, especially, like significantly below, I'd say, then it is not broken and all is well and good, or at least all and well and good for one more period. And this would this actually would imply a price target of low 90s, $93,500, which, not be a surprise to a lot of people. However, I think for, people who've been around for a long time, I mean, just still overall in a massive range. So it's, not that crazy, I suppose. That would also actually effectively match up with the 50% retracement level from the high to the low of this rally, again, that began in April. So we do have good confluence with that. And actually over here, now that I recognize it on CME, there is a bit of a, I mean, if you want to call this a symmetrical triangle or something like that, I really don't like these ones, but I figure this one also has a similar implied target here too. Yeah, basically at that $93,500 region. Again, that is pending confirmation. Bitcoin absolutely must close below. What would it be? About, let's actually go over here. We need to see really Bitcoin close below like $102,500 in order for that to be perhaps of relevance. And yes, there very likely would be stops along the way, bounces along the way. It'll be, it's not going to be like one straight line, but that would be an area of interest if that is resolved in that fashion. We'll go over invalidation conditions a little bit later and what effectively Bitcoin could do to, salvage itself. But for right now, that is in the cards. And I do want to say that, this combines with a few of our other setups that we've been looking at that suggest that this is a reasonable possibility here. So if you recall back from, I think it was 2 days ago, so that was maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever the fuck it was, I don't know, man. I've been taking too many goddamn pain pills recently because, look at my fucking face. Well, I guess it doesn't look that bad right here, but I really do look like that orc from Lord of the Rings or actually Harvey Weinstein. I mean, he's a beautiful man. Anyways, yes, so if you recall back from, it was here back on Tuesday, there was a price action pivot on the lower term timeframes at 108,500, and we said, hey, if Bitcoin comes back down below that region, that is effectively a short-term reversal, and be expecting price action down to at least about 106, probably a bounce attempt there. We did see a bounce attempt right here, Bitcoin bouncing up actually quite significantly to 108.5. Obviously failed that one, and we said, hey, if that one fails, then you're probably looking at low 100s. What is that based off of? Well, that's based off of this setup right here. No, we'll get to that one in a bit. Is it based off of this setup right here? No, where is it? Motherfucker, there it is. Yes, found it. Okay, hey, bastard, go to the right time frame. Okay, nice. I apologize for my autistic outrageous here, but yes, this is a setup that I wanted to reference. So anytime that we've seen this red moving average cross the downside of the yellow moving average, which are a 3 and a 21 EMA respectively, we've seen a move to the green moving average, which is a 70 EMA, about almost 80% of the time in a profitable manner. If you were to back test the past 10 years of data, you can see right here using the Quant Prime service that, about just under 78% of the time it has hit the green moving average. So do be aware of that, because that is actually, lower than where that that resolution point would be for the rising channel that we spoke about earlier. It's actually currently at 100,415. So if Bitcoin were to get down around there, would that effectively imply that there's going to be a break? Actually, no, because we need to do this on Bitcoin needs to do this on a closing basis in order to resolve this pattern over here. If I were to go back to it. And again, at the proper closing time. So for the 2-day and the 3-day, the 2 days closing tonight, the 3-day closes tomorrow, and then the 5-day also closes tomorrow. I'd probably wait for the 3 and 5-day on this one just because it is a bigger move, and you don't really want to front run stuff like this because it can really fucking blow up in your face real fast. Anyways, so yes, there is a good probability that move actually does happen because this setup over here would imply that you will see at least the potential for those resolution conditions to be met. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe over the weekend. Who the hell knows? It doesn't really matter about the timing. It just matters about if and when it does get down around there. Now, on top of that, as I already gave away the punchline, we also have the witches setup over here, which I think is a really good introduction into why understanding probabilities is super important, because while this is technically a setup that is more likely to be a winner rather than a loser with a over 55.5% strike rate for a positive closing trade, we can also gain some very relevant information about it in the event that it is a losing trade. And again, this is a super simplistic setup. For the people who are more logically minded, you probably hate it. That's fine. I also hated it as well. But at the end of the day, I love stats. I love stats. Give me those fucking stats. Shove them down my face. And anyways, the setup is this: open on a full moon, close on a new moon, whatever the fuck it is. Again, these are these would be the results right here. But in the event that we have seen failures, we can also draw statistics from that as well to get an idea of what to expect. And if we go to the trade analysis, we can see that the average losing trade lost about 8.25%. Okay, if it loses 8.25%, and we already have the entry at 108.5 almost, well, what would that effectively equate to in terms of price action? That would be just below $100,000, about, I don't know, 99,800, let's say. So again, now we have multiple things kind of pointed down around there. Obviously, this has a slightly lower probability than the setup that we went over here, and also, maybe using an internal driver that perhaps a lot of people would disagree with, but that's fine. But ultimately, there is good reason to believe that there actually might be this break. So, does it need to happen tonight? Can it happen tomorrow? Can it happen the day after that? Sure. But ultimately, this next couple of days, I suspect we're going to get resolution on this if it is indeed going to happen. And by the way, if you're looking for these tools, if you want to try them out completely for free, you can do that with the link in the description below for Teachable. You can also actually get the sale price going on, which actually is only going on for another few days, ending on Monday. That is with the code SUMMER20. I'll just pop it up right here. SUMMER20, summer in all capitals, and then literally just the numbers 20, and it'll bring you over to this page, and you can get 20% off of any one of the programs or services, even the newest kit on the block, the price action pivots, which you've actually seen me use quite a fair bit now because it's proven itself. It's proven itself in a very difficult game. That's how all of our indicators work. They got to prove themselves. Anyways, yes. Okay. Let's also now go over how to invalidate this, or effectively what would imply that this potential for downside price action, perhaps even all the way down to $93,500, is not going to happen. Well, one, we need to actually first see the official break. So that has not happened yet. That could happen perhaps as soon as tonight for the 2-day time frame. Again, I'd probably wait for tomorrow because you have both a 3-day and the 5-day closing simultaneously. So that would add a lot of confidence to that, but that would need to close below about 102.5. If you just run a round down, just make it 102. That's fine as well. On the other side, we could say that Bitcoin is mega fucking super massive bullish, altcoin season, rockets, super cycle, fucking retire the bloodline, generational wealth, all these sort of things. If Bitcoin were to do what? Well, at this point, would need to really pop back above the rejection area that we've seen multiple times this week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, right around 110.700. As long as Bitcoin's below there, there's no reason to believe that this is anything more than a consolidation. It is, it is at best a consolidation, I suppose. I mean, it quite literally is a consolidation, but you know what I mean. No talks of like major upside, massive price action until that happens. Yes, long term, I still think that Bitcoin has more upside to go, and I still think that this is overall going to resolve into a pretty major opportunity, and maybe even this is already it. Again, Bitcoin is not actually officially broken down just yet, so it's very possible as of right now. for the most aggressive of traders and investors out there. But yeah. Anyways, my point is, or actually I forgot my point. Again, these goddamn pain pills doing me dirty. Hopefully it ends soon, man. I do want to say a massive thank you for all the well wishes, by the way. It looks bad. It actually doesn't feel that bad, to be honest. But now I can even open up my other eye a little bit. Like, I can see you. It's great. Anyways, yes. Okay. Yes. So we went over that. Yeah. Now let's get into some other fun stuff. I want to give a mega shout out to MetaSignals. They fired off a slew of short signals before this move happened. Obviously, the Bitcoin long signal from a couple days ago did not work out. Surprise, surprise. I mean, at the end of the day, statistics are statistics. Even if you do have a high probability, it's not a certainty. In this case, Sui hitting target number 1, target number 2, and getting pretty damn close to target number 3. In fact, actually, it's probably already there. I mean, this is well below a 330 already, so not bad. So we'll move on to the next one. It also fired off this one here for Link. This one actually is a really good example of a setup that technically failed because it did close above their stop loss area, which makes me want to say, hey, if you are using a service like this, MetaSignals, which I think can be extremely valuable, because again, it gives you all these probabilities, gives you all of the areas of interest, but if you use just even a small portion of your brain, like a very small portion of your brain, a lot of the time you can get better entries and better, and also better exits by just applying the most minimum of technical know-how. And on top of that, I think they had another one recently. Yeah, Abe, holy shit. Oh my God, it's fucking terrible, man. They didn't even get the whole move. Fuck them. This is fucking bullshit, man. They didn't get the look at that. There's a massive dildo hanging below even target number 3. Target number 3 has a 32% probability. How could they possibly get this wrong? If you can't sense a sarcasm, you might be redacted. But yeah, again, just highlighting some of these. MetaSignals also has their own promo going on, which is actually pretty crazy. They're even partnering up with the What Exchange, which is a new decentralized. It's actually not that new, but it is a decentralized exchange. Pretty cool UI, in fact. And they're offering 1,000 of the exchange tokens if you sign up to if you sign up to MetaSignals through my link in the description below and use the code CROWN in all capitals. They'll have a special link for MetaSignals / What Exchange, and you can claim it there. Everyone loves their free exchange tokens, right? Because we're all thinking about like BNB and what are the other exchange tokens? I don't know. There used to be a shit ton of them, but I can't remember them right now. I wonder why. Anyways, you also get 50% discount on the MetaSignal service as well. So you can check it out there. Again, there's going to be for some people, not for others. But like I said, I think the person who's going to have the most success with this is someone who already has a little bit of technical know-how and is using these as more of like a call to action, like a call to alert to assess something because you have a statistical probability set up, in your favor, and perhaps it's time to take action. So yeah, actually, they literally have the instructions right here. Holy shit, man. I'm redact as fuck today. Anyways, yes. Okay. So I think that pretty much solves it for today. Again, breakdown is not officially occurred just yet. Yes, we do have setups for lower that do have, some decent probabilities there. So there is good reason to believe that it is certainly possible here. This is what I think the current extent of the move could be. Bounces along the way. Obviously, you'd probably get one at effectively last Wednesday's low at 100,500. Then you got probably another one somewhere over here at about $98,000. And then if it fails that one, then yeah, you go all the way coast to coast and maybe somewhere down around like $93,000. Again, long term, I think that this is very likely a major opportunity. And if I'm just speaking offhand here to the general cycle, I really think that Bitcoin 4-year cycles are like a thing of the past at this point. We've seen a major change of behavior here for Bitcoin over the long term. In no prior cycle have we ever seen like significantly multi-month long consolidations in a bull market after breaking all-time highs. If you go back to 2017 over here, you can see once Bitcoin broke the all-time high, it was just straight shot up, spent 3 months consolidating on, or 2 months consolidating on the lows, did put in a new high. But again, that was the end of the cycle. 2017, this one just straight fucking up. I mean, it was straight up the whole goddamn way, to be honest, but especially as soon as it did break emphatically above that prior cycle high. See the same thing over here, and so on and so forth. So to me, this is a major change of behavior here, where we see nearly a year long's worth of consolidation in 2024, and we're already on the way to having nearly a year long's worth of consolidation in 2025 as well, after basically just 1 month up. I mean, it has been December, January, February, March, April, May, June, maybe even July. So that's what, like 7 months of sideways effectively, like with no real major breakup or breakdown. I mean, a lot of these ranges are tradable, absolutely. But my point is that things are changing here. And I think that, the general structure into this new segment is kind of what you expect for an ETF, which Bitcoin now has an ETF, right? Which is, move up, consolidate for a long time in a sideways range in a massive rectangle, move up again, do the same thing. And you kind of get that just general grind up, which in my opinion, I mean, I would hope most people would agree with this. I think that's better. But of course, it is more fun when you get this sort of shit over here, or especially this sort of shit over here as well. Anyways, that's enough shit talking for me today. Who knows if any of that made sense at all whatsoever, but I'll be signing off on that note. Crypto Weinstein out. Take care and see you hopefully tomorrow in my office.